Yo, hello everyone, welcome to Theme Girl. So, if you watched this video a few weeks back, then you probably knew that user registration was coming with a massive update where membership was being brought into the core. And now the plugin has been released. So in this video, I'll show you how to turn your WordPress website into a full-on membership site where we'll not only create multiple premium memberships, but we'll also give varying levels of content access to each of those memberships and much more. Oh, and I almost forgot, but you can do this all for free. Let's get started with the video, but before we do, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. Alright, boys and girls, here we are within the computer screen. Now let's get started with building our membership site. Now this right here is a fresh new website that I just created. It doesn't have much done to it. I've just installed a theme. So let's get started first of all with our plugin installation. So go within plugins, click on add new plugin and search for user registration. Once you've done that, you should see the user registration and membership plugin right here with 60,000 plus active installations. Click on install now, and once it has been installed, click on activate. So as soon as the plugin has been activated, you'll be redirected to the setup wizard of the URM plugin. So simply click on get started. And here you can choose between a normal registration and a membership registration system. Now this plugin gives you an amazing registration system functionality for your WordPress site, for which I have a separate dedicated video for it. In this video, we're going to be covering just the membership registration part. So let's click on next. And here it's going to show you a few different things. So in terms of registration behavior, it has done a few different things. First one being it has created a new registration form for you, a custom registration form. The second one being guest registration has been enabled. Anyone that is visiting your site will be able to register if they want to. And finally, the default WordPress login and registration form has been disabled. Now the reason for this is very simple. The default WordPress login and registration is not very secure, and a lot of spam registrations make their way onto your site via this default WordPress login and registrations. So here it has been disabled by default. If you want to enable it, you can, by the way, and it has installed a few different pages, or it has created a few different pages in your WordPress site. The first one being my account page, second one login, lost password page, a membership registration page, a pricing page, and finally a thank you page. So there it is. Let's click on next. And since if you're creating a membership registration site on your website, all those users have to come via a form. So these are the settings for the form. First of all, being user approval and login options. So as soon as the user registers, what sort of behavior do you want? Do you want them to be automatically approved and they have to manually log in? Or if you want to automatically approve them as well, or if anyone is trying to register, do they have to wait for the admin to approve of their registration? And finally, if you want them to be automatically approved after an email confirmation, you can choose any one of these. Right now, I'm just going to leave it at auto approval and manual login. The second one being prevent WP dashboard access. This basically means which rule do you want to be restricted from accessing the WP dashboard, the admin dashboard. So yeah, by default it's set to subscriber. You can leave it as it is as well. And finally, we have this registration settings right here. If you want to enable strong password to better secure your users' accounts, you can enable it. You can set the password strength. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And finally, the default user role, which is currently set to subscriber, I'm going to leave it as it is as well. If you have custom user roles, you can select those. But yeah, right now subscriber it is. Let's click on next and we are done. So here, if you want to join the newsletter, you can simply click on this button and you'll receive security updates, new sales going on, etc. But for now, let's go ahead and let's create our new membership. So simply click on create membership and you'll be redirected to the membership creation page. Okay, so now let's get started with our membership creation process. Now for this video, I plan to create paid memberships and I want to create 3 different memberships: gold, silver, and bronze. So let's get started. First one being gold. So it's going to be gold membership. And we're just going to give users gold tier access. If you want to add a longer description here, you're free to do so. So here for membership role, so whenever someone purchases this membership, which WordPress role do you wish to give them? You'll simply select that role here. If you got custom roles, you can choose those, but by default it's set to subscriber and we're just going to leave it at that. So here within membership types, you can see that you can create 3 different kinds of memberships. You can create a free membership, you can create a paid membership, and you can also create a subscription based membership. So people will basically have to keep subscribing in order to have the membership access, but this is only available in the premium version of this plugin. But for this video, I'm going to show you how to create paid memberships on your website. So let's get started. For our gold membership, I'm going to give this membership a price of $100. And here you can see you can select all these different payment gateways here. You can select PayPal, bank transfer, Stripe. Now, since this is an initial setup, we're just getting started with the plugin. We don't have our payments configured. So let's go ahead and let's configure our payments first. So if you simply click on this setting right here, it's going to open another tab with your PayPal settings. Or if you want to set up bank transfer, you can simply click on that and it's going to open that up for you. Now in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up PayPal and bank transfer. So let's get started with our PayPal settings here. I'm going to use my Sandbox account for this. Sandbox basically means a test account that PayPal gives you, but if you're setting up a live account, you'd simply have to choose production here. Anyways, let's fill this out first. So let's fill in our email here, and now we need to fill in our client ID and our client secret. By the way, all of this, you'll find it within your PayPal dashboard, so yeah, just letting you know. And yeah, once you've filled it out, simply click on Save Changes, and you're basically done. If you go back here, you can simply enable PayPal, and PayPal will be enabled. Now let's also set up our bank transfer. So again, from the other tab, scroll down below and enter your bank transfer settings right in here. So basically you can give in the name of the bank, and after that, you probably want to give your bank account number. So yeah, type that in as well, whatever the number is. If you want to give like QR codes or something, then you can simply link a media in here as well. But for now, text will do. If you wish to proceed with manual payment on your site, whatever mode of payment you want to use, you can list out the details. And once you've listed it out, simply click on Save Changes once again. And yeah, you can simply go back and you can enable bank transfer for the gold membership or whichever membership that it is you are creating. So yeah, PayPal, bank transfer, they will have been set up. They have been enabled for this gold membership. So let's click on Create Membership. So there we go, our gold membership has been created. Now by default, this URM plugin gives you a default membership, which is not necessary here, so I'm simply going to delete that one, delete it, and let's go ahead, let's create our silver and our bronze membership. So silver membership, and silver tier access, or whatever description you want to have here, you can do that. Membership role, I'm going to give them the subscriber role, make this thing paid, probably something around $60, why not? And let's enable PayPal and bank transfer for this one as well. You don't have to do it again, so yeah, that's great. Let's go ahead, let's create another membership, our bronze membership. Bronze tier access. Subscriber, once again, let's make this thing paid and let's make it 20 bucks. PayPal, bank transfer, create that one as well, and you're good to go. And also, if you plan to create different kinds of memberships for different niches, then you can also group these memberships. You can go within membership groups, you can create different groups. Like suppose you can create one group for Java developers, the other group for CSS developers, within which you can have different tiers, just like this one right here, gold, silver, and bronze. So if you want to group them, you can do that as well. There's that flexibility too. But so far, we've completed our payments, we've created our memberships, and we're good to go. Now, only thing that's left to do is to create a gateway for people to come in. Whenever they want to purchase a membership, it has to be done through a form. Now, all we have to do is create a form through which people will be able to buy this membership, or these memberships, my bad. Okay, so now let's get started with our form creation process. Now, to create our forms, you can simply go here within your All Forms menu underneath User Registration and Membership, and already by default, a form has been given to you by this plugin, so you can simply edit this form or you can create a new one. For the ease of it, I'm simply going to be editing this form. So let's click on edit, and yeah, your form is ready. You have a username field, user email field, password, confirm password, and a membership field right here. So basically, if this were a normal registration form, then a user would come in, they would fill out these fields right here, and they would have been registered into the site. But now, with this membership field right here, they'll have to fill out this field, after which they'll be sent to the payment portal, and once the payment has been completed, then they'll be registered into your site. So yes, that is how it works, and if you want to make this form better, then the user registrations form builder is next level. If you want to get in different fields, you can do that. They've got a lot of different fields that you can choose from. A lot of different fields are in the premium version, but yeah, even in the free version, it gives you a lot of fields. So here, suppose within this form, I want a phone number field to collect user's phone number as well. I can do that. First of all, I think I want to do one thing. I'm going to select this section right here, and I'm going to make this section a double column section. And let me drag this membership field right there. Now to get our user's phone number, we need to get a number field in here. So let's drag and drop the number field right in there. Select the number field, and here field options for the individual fields will be shown. In our case, currently it is for the phone number field. I'm simply going to change its label to phone number. And suppose I want this field to be required, so a user would have to fill this out mandatorily. So filling out this field will be mandatory, and only after that the user will be able to submit this registration form. So you can do that. If you want to add in like placeholder, then you can do that as well. So yes, I think this is good to go. Now here within our membership field, if I click on it, its field options will be shown here as well, and currently it's set to show all memberships. Since I only have 3 different memberships here, if you plan to create different kinds of memberships with different tiers within them, then as I said before, you can create those groups and you can select those groups in here, and only the memberships from the groups that you've created will be shown in here. So that is good to go. Also for your registration form, if you go here within form settings, you've got a lot of different settings that you can play around with. You can make changes to the submit button, what you want the text to be like, what the success message is going to be like. If you want to enable CAPTCHA, you can do that as well. You can simply set up a CAPTCHA from within your global settings. If I go right here within settings, then you'll see your CAPTCHA setting in here. You can set up reCAPTCHA, edge CAPTCHA, cloud return style, whichever one you wish. Then you can come back here and you can select that CAPTCHA. And also you've got different form templates that you can choose from, whichever look you think you like, you can simply use those as well. And suppose if you want to like really customize your form, then you can get the premium version of this plugin, which has the style customizer add-on, using which you can customize your form. You can make it look however you want to. So yeah, that is it for your form settings. And right now I think we're done with our form right here. So I'm simply going to update the form and let's see what our form looks like. If I click on preview here, our form preview will be shown. So if you want to see how this form would look in different devices, then here we've got our tablet mode and your responsive mobile phone mode as well. And yeah, this looks just fine. Now let's go ahead, let's see this form in action within one of our pages. So as I said before, this plugin has already installed a few different pages within your WordPress site, and this membership registration page right here is the page that currently houses our registration form. So if I click on edit page, then here you can see our form is currently being rendered by this shortcode right here. But if you don't want to use shortcode, there's also Gutenberg blocks. You can use the registration form Gutenberg block to render this form wherever you want to, or other forms for that matter. You can simply drag and drop it and you can select whichever form you want to show. In our case, we only have a single form, so I'm going to select the form that we just created here, and there it is. And let me throw out this shortcode right here, simply delete it. And this is what our form is looking like. There's other blocks as well for your login form, for your my account page, edit profile, edit password, and also the content restriction, which we'll get back to in a bit. For now, let's go ahead, let's just save this form. We're good to go. So here we're done with our registration form. Now while we're at it, let me also show you the login form from this plugin. So if you go here underneath all forms, there's also this login form option right here, and you can see this is what our login form is looking like. A very simple login form with user email or email address field and a password field. And if users happen to forget their password, they can simply click on lost your password and they can reset it as well. So this is currently what our login form is looking like. We are within our login form builder, and yeah, there's different options here. If you want to select different templates for the login form, you can do that here as well. Rounded edge. I'm just going to leave it at default. I think it looks clean. And here you can also choose whether you want to allow users to log in with just the username, there's just the email, or both username or the email. I'm just going to leave it as it is as well. If you want to enable CAPTCHA within your login form, you can do that as well. Once you enable CAPTCHA, you can select whichever CAPTCHA you've set up. Keep in mind, you're going to have to set up CAPTCHA from within your global settings from right in here. But yeah, anyways, right now let me turn this off. Now if you want to add a link here so that users can click on it and they'll be sent to the registration page if they're now registered, you can do that as well. Simply get your membership registration link and paste it in there. And if you want to change the label, you can change it as well. Currently it's being shown just like this. And yes, there's a lot of different options here for labels, your placeholders, etc. And there's also settings for your validation messages. So yeah, you can do a lot of things in here. So a lot of different settings for your login form as well. Let me show you how this looks. If I were to open this page in an incognito window, just like so, then if I go within my login page, so this right here is a login form. People can come in, they can fill out their username, their email, their password, and they will be logged in. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Okay, so amazing. We've done 3 things so far. First one being we've added our memberships. The second one being we've created our registration form, which is working. We've created our login form, which is working as well. So majority of the things have been done, but a major piece of the puzzle is still missing, and that is going to be content restriction or content access control, whatever you want to call it, which we'll get back to in a bit. But first, let me show you how a membership registration process would go like, and after that, we'll get into the content restriction bit. So if I open this site in an incognito window where I'm not logged in as a user, then I would most probably make my way into the membership registration page, and this is where I can fill out my information. I'm simply going to use fake filler here, and yeah, once I've filled out my information, I can choose which membership I want to buy, maybe the silver one, maybe the gold, maybe the bronze. I can select that. I can select my payment gateway. So if I select PayPal here and I click on submit, then what's going to happen is a membership has been created, or a member has been created, my bad, and they've been redirected to PayPal. And they can come in, they can complete their payment however they want to. And yeah, once the payment goes through, they will become a member within your WordPress site. And also, to keep a track of all these different payments, there is a payment history setting underneath user registration right here. And once you click on it, you can see the transaction that has happened within your site. So this right here is the transaction that we just created. This one's for the gold membership using PayPal, and you can see its status right here as well. It's currently pending because we did not complete the payment. So you can view this, you can view all of its details from right in here. And yes, if you're using bank transfer as well, those will be shown in here as well, which I'm going to show you right now. So again, I'm going to go back to an incognito window. I'm going to open this site and I'm going to click on membership registration, and let me fill this out real quick. And this time again, I'm going to select the gold membership, $100, and this time I'm going to select bank. And if I click on submit, okay, so apparently my password cannot match with the username or the email. I'm just filling out test. I was just using test for the username as well as the password, so let me fix that real quick. There it is. Now if I click on submit, we should be able to go through. There it is. We have been registered into the site, but our payment is not yet complete. And since we're using a manual bank payout method, here our bank details have been shown. So this is where I need to send out the $100 for the membership. And once it has been sent, an admin will basically verify this payment and he will let me in. And by the way, as soon as the form goes through, you'll also be redirected to the membership thank you page, basically thanking the new member for your website. And yes, I'll show you the setting for this membership thank you page right here. But before I do that, let me show you the transaction right here. There it is. This is our second transaction here. This time we're using the bank gateway, and you can see its status is still pending because we need to verify it first. Now, suppose someone came in, they filled out, they have used the bank payment gateway, then you can simply view it here, and yeah. And basically once you tally it with your bank statements and the payment has come through, then you can simply approve it from right here. And yeah, you can see transaction status has been completed. And now if this user were to log into your site, let me show you what that would look like. They would go within the login page and they would fill out their name, their password, and log in. And there it is. They have logged into your website. Now they'll be able to view their My Account page right here, within which they can check out their profile details, they can change their password if they want to, and within the membership tab, they can see their membership status. So currently they are subscribed to the gold membership, which is a paid membership type, and yeah, their subscription is active. If they wish to cancel the membership, they can do that as well. Now let's get back to our thank you page settings. So as soon as a member has purchased the membership, they'll be redirected to the membership thank you page. So if I go within user registrations setting right here, within membership, I can choose a membership thank you page, but also you need to keep one thing in mind. Whichever page you're selecting, like suppose I'm going to select the silver membership page right here, you can see it does not consist of the membership thank you page shortcode. So that shortcode needs to be within your page. So let me save the changes and I'll show you what it looks like. So here within my pages menu, you can see I have a membership thank you page here. If I edit this, so yeah, this shortcode right here renders all the necessary things for your membership thank you page. So I keep that thing in mind. So yes, now we're done with the creation process. We've done everything. I've shown you how it works. Now let's get into the content access or the content restriction part, for which if you go here within user registration and membership within settings, then you can see content restriction right here. Now buckle up because this is the most interesting part. Now if you're creating a membership website, there is two different ways you'll generally go about it. First one being a membership only website where the entire website is not really available to anyone besides your members. And the second one being you'll have your website available to everyone, but only parts of that website will be available to the members. So yes, I'll take you over content restriction for both those kinds of websites, membership only or parts of the website will be available to just the members. So let's get started. So here within your membership settings, content restriction, you have this option right here called the whole site restriction. Enable whole site restriction. What this does is this setting puts your entire site to a lockdown. So basically anyone who is not logged in into your website, who is not a member, will not see parts of your website. The only thing they'll see is it'll say this content is restricted, or whatever message you put in here, they will see that. So if I were to enable this and I were to only allow access to all logged in users or memberships and bronze, silver, gold membership, and if I were to type in here something like this is a members only website, if you wish to register from the registration form, and I can add my registration form right here. I'll select the default form, add it right there. It is going to be rendered here as a shortcode. I can set it down there, and if I save this, now what's going to happen is if I open this site again on an incognito window where I'm not logged in, I'm going to open the site, and here you can see this is a members only website. If you wish to register from the registration form, and this form is currently being rendered. Also, don't mind the design. Currently I've not set up my theme, so that is why everything is stretched. Anyways, keeping the design aside because I've not set up my theme, this is what it would look like for anyone who is not registered into the site if you have enabled whole site restriction. Now suppose you've locked down your entire website and you only want to give access to a landing page of some sort, or basically you want to give access to the guest users to only a single page or a few different pages, then you can do that as well. If you go here within pages, and if you want to suppose give access to this sample page right here for some reason, you can basically scroll down below and you'll see this restriction setting for the individual page right here. Now what you can do is you can click on override global settings. So basically before, the setting that we changed was the global setting, which affects the entire website. Here we're simply going to override that setting, and what we're going to do is we're going to allow access to this page for the guest users. And if I save it, now again, if I were to visit this website as a normal user, as a user that is not logged in, and if I were to visit the sample page, then here I am. I have access for the sample page, right? And if I want to go to any other pages like the membership pricing page, you can see it's again going to show me this restriction message right here. So this right here is the demo for if you wish to lock down the entire website, make it a members only website while giving access to users to a certain pages only, then this is what you would do. Okay, so now let's move over to the other way of running your membership website, and that is not locking down your entire website. So that means your website will be visible to your guests, but to lock down different parts of your website, different posts or pages, so that only members can view those pages and the contents within them. So in order to do that, we're gonna have to disable whole site restriction, and bear in mind this thing is not going to disable your global restriction settings, and I'll tell you why in just a bit. But for now, let's make sure to change this setting to something like allow access to all logged in users, and let's change this message as well. I've written down a very basic message here which says this content is only viewable to logged in users, and we're going to save it. So right now we have our global restriction settings set to allow access only to logged in users, and this is going to be the message that is going to be displayed, right? So right now, if I was a normal guest user who is not logged into the website, I will be able to view the website, all of its pages, everything is going to work just fine, right? But now, since I've created different memberships within my website, I want to make sure that they have their own safe space, or they have their own place within the website that is not viewable to the other people, to the other guests, or to the other members who are subscribed to other different tiers of the membership. So within my website, I've created these three pages right here: the bronze membership, the gold membership, and the silver membership. So I think this is pretty self-explanatory. This gold membership page, this bronze membership page, and this silver membership page, I want these pages to be viewable only to their respective members. So a bronze member will only be able to see this page, they will not be able to view these other pages. A silver member will only be able to view this page, and the gold member will be able to view just this page. Okay, now when I say just this page, what I mean is they'll be able to view everything in the website and this page while not being able to view the other membership pages. So yeah, keep that in mind as well. So yeah, now let's go ahead, let's edit the page for our gold membership. Let me edit this page, and again, if we were to scroll down below, then you'll see we have this restriction section right here. Now first of all, you're going to see this setting right here which says restrict access to this page or post. When enabled, this page or post will be restricted as per the global settings, and here's the link for the global settings. So basically this right here is your global restriction setting, right? So currently within our global restriction setting, we have given access only to logged in users, and this is the message that is going to be shown. So if I were to click on this right now, and if I were to save it, guess what's going to happen? If I try to access the gold membership page right here as a user that is not logged in, it's going to say this content is only viewable to logged in users. So the page currently has been restricted just to the logged in users. So this is why we have the global restriction setting here. You can just give access to certain users, and you can simply go ahead within different pages and you can select this one checkbox, and the global settings will be applied. But now, in our case, it is a little bit different, right? In our case, we have 3 different memberships. If I only had a single membership, then what I could have done is I could have come here, I could have just selected membership, and I would select the singular membership that I had, and I would come in here, I would enable this checkbox, and everything will be good. But now, since we have 3 different memberships here, what we need to do is we need to override the global settings, and we need to give page specific settings. So that means we're going to give access to certain memberships for this gold page, and for the gold membership page, obviously only the gold members will be able to access this page. So select the gold membership and you can save it. Now we're going to have to do the same for all the other pages. Here within my silver membership page, let me edit this page as well. If I were to go down below, I'm going to restrict this page. I'm going to override the global restriction settings, and I'm going to have to change it to memberships and select the silver membership right here. If I save it, now this page can only be accessed by silver members. Let's go do the same thing for our bronze page. Let me edit this page and scroll down below, restrict the page first, and then override the global settings and change it to memberships, allow access to the bronze members, and save it. Once it has been saved, and now let me show you what it's going to look like in the front end. So here I am within my WordPress website. Currently I am not logged in, I'm a guest user, so if I were to access any of these pages, the bronze page, the gold page, or the silver page, you can see I cannot view any of these pages, right? So now let me log in with the same account that I created before, which has the gold membership. So this user right here is a gold member right now. If I go within my account page right here, membership, you can see I'm a gold member. The membership status is active. So if I were to access the gold membership page, you can see I can access it and everything's looking fine. And suppose if I were to access the bronze page, I will not have access to that page, and neither will I have access to the silver membership page. Now within these pages, you can render all sorts of content specific to the membership or specific to the members who have subscribed to a certain membership. So yeah, this is basically how you would restrict access. So this is basically how you would restrict access to members or to your different memberships. So yes, this is how you would restrict access to different members or memberships. So yes, this concludes the full content restriction part. Now there's another form of content restriction that I want to touch on, and that is the partial content restriction as well. So let's get into it. Okay, so now what do I mean by partial content restriction? Suppose within this page, I want everything to be visible, but I only want certain parts of the page to be not visible to a certain user, to certain user roles, to memberships. Then this is what I would do. I would use partial content restriction. Now, there's 2 ways to use partial content restriction. Now, one is to use the content restriction block right here. If I simply click on it, you can see this right here is the content restriction block. Now, whatever content I place inside of it, this content should be hidden. Now here from within content restriction block settings, what I can do is I can only give access to the content within this block to subscribers, suppose, if I save it. And by the way, let me show you something more. If I go within the layers tab here, I can add as many blocks as I want to within this content restriction block. So I can add an image block in here as well. I can type in /image. I can get an image in here. There you go, I've selected this image, click on select, there it is, it's showing, let me save it. So now let me show you what this page is going to look like to a guest user. If I go within the gold membership page once again, you can see that currently this content is viewable only to logged in users. And this message is the same message from your global restriction settings. So yeah, keep that in mind. So now here again, what I can do is now I can change it. So I can select the access control to be restrict now. And I can save it. But now if I were to log in, let me log in with the same account that I created before. So this user is already a member and has been given the subscriber role. So keep another thing in mind, and that is user roles and memberships are 2 different things. A user can have both user role and a membership as well. So yeah, keep that in mind. So now if I again go back to the gold membership page, you can see this content should be hidden. It is not hidden. And for some reason the image is not loading, but you get the gist. Currently the content is not hidden, and if I were to go back in, log out, and if I visit the page once again, you can see this content is only viewable to logged in users. So that is how partial content restriction works. You can use both the block as well as the short code right here. Alright, so the content restriction that I showed you in this video, it's not just gonna work for your pages, but it's also gonna work for your posts as well. But keep one thing in mind, if you want to create a really robust membership solution for your users, then just these content restriction settings are simply not gonna be enough for you. If you want something a little bit more advanced, then you're going to have to use something called content rules from within user registration and membership, which provides you with a really advanced access control. But the content rules feature is only available in the premium version of this plugin, so keep that thing in mind. I'll tell you a little bit about it. So within content rules, you can add a lot of different rules. I'm simply going to give it a name, and this rule can either be an access control or a restrict control. Let's do an access control here, click on continue, and here you can add multiple different logics within this logic group, and you can either use the or logic, the and logic, and the not logic. If you know anything about logics, this is pretty simple. You can add multiple different fields in here, just like before you've got your roles, but this time you've got a lot of different things here, like user registered date, period after registration, so how many days after the initial registration, user state, this basically means logged in or logged out, the membership status, email domain of the user, minimum public post count, capabilities, user registration source, your form field, payment status, and much more. So let me go ahead, let me select membership for now, and let me select the gold membership. Now I can add multiple other fields in here like membership, and suppose I add in a user state, a logged in state of the user with gold membership. And what I can do here is which content can this logic group target. To select that, I will go within target contents here and I'll add a new field. And now in here, besides pages and posts and the whole site, I can also make it so the conditions I've set here also affect contents like post types and taxonomies. And this is going to be really huge if you want to create a really robust registration system for your users. And finally here I can choose which action needs to be taken. Maybe I want to redirect users to the registration page, and then I can click on redirect and I can paste in my URL. I can also take them to a page, and I can most probably take them to a registration page here. Like, I can do lots of stuff. All right, again, a very simple recap with content rules here is that you can set up conditions, you can set up the target content for those conditions, and finally you can select the action to overtake when those conditions are met, not met, and you can simply click on create rule. And if I go back, then you can see you can create multiple such rules, and this will really ensure an advanced membership system for your site. Now, content rules is a little bit vast, and if you want a dedicated tutorial on content rules for the user registration and membership Pro plugin, then let me know down in the comments below. I'll make it happen. And yeah, that is about it. So I hope you guys found that video helpful. If you did, drop a like, subscribe. All the helpful links for the new update will be down in the description below. The link for the user registration and memberships documentation, YouTube channel, and much more. I guess that's about it for this video. I'm Sid, and I'll see you whenever I'll see you. Take care.